Hi everyone, I'm Zan, a BI team member at Blend 360. I'm bringing you another Power BI tip. And in today's tip, we're going to have some fun with calendars. So it's a very common use case to report measures based on a Gregorian calendar. And Power BI has some fantastic time intelligence functions built in to make that very easy. But you may have a need to report measures on a non-standard calendar basis. For example, a fixed calendar or a 454 calendar typically used in the retail industry. So we're going to take a look at this sample dashboard where we're able to toggle between both calendar types. So let's take a look at what we have. So we can see we have this filter, which is actually a toggle between our fixed calendar and our Gregorian calendar. We have a month slicer. We're able to choose the month that we want to see, and this specific month will correspond to the cards we have on top. So you can see that we have Gregorian selected and November 2023 selected, and this corresponds to November 1st to November 30th, as expected. And then we have a sales quantity and a sales dollars that correspond to that period. So let's choose our fixed period, and we can see that our November 2023 period actually corresponds to the date range 10/29 to 11/25. And you'll have noticed all of our measures updated to correspond to that range. Now these cards are again showing only that period, and then our column chart and our line chart are showing the monthly periods, but within the fixed calendar. So if we switch back to Gregorian, you can see that these are now on a standard calendar basis. So let's take a look at how we implemented this. So we'll first jump to our data pane. So we start with our sales data, which is just some simulated sales amount, sales quantity data by sales date. We have our date table, which has our date column. We have some fixed calendar columns, so fixed month, fixed year, and our fixed month year. We also have corresponding Gregorian columns, so month year and month year. So these labels will be very important for the solution we're proposing. And in this table, I want to call out that this table is actually specifying the beginning of the fixed periods and the Gregorian periods. So you'll notice at the bottom here, we have our fixed month changing from the first period to the second, and that's occurring on January 29th. And if we go to our Gregorian month, we can see that this is actually lining up. So our last day of the first period is January 31st, and first day of the second period is February 1st. So our next table is a reference calendar table, and you'll see that we have a calendar type column. This is what we use to build that toggle slicer. We have a column to sort our dates. That's because we'll be using these labels as our axis. And then we have a month-year column, and we'll be matching this to our month-year columns in our date table. So we also have a month-year LM, or last month column, and we could use this to build month-over-month metrics. We could add a last year column to do year-over-year metrics with the exact same approach that we're going to show. So let's take a look at our data model next, and you can see that our date table is connected to our sales table by date, and then we have our reference calendar table that doesn't have a relationship. So the method we're using to bring all these pieces together is the DEX function switch. And let's take a look at our sales dollars function. So here we have our sales amount, sales dollars equal to switch. Our first argument is the selected value of our calendar type, which is either going to be, again, fixed or Gregorian. And then if it's fixed, I would like to calculate the sum of the sales amount, and I would filter the date table based on the fixed month year equal to the corresponding selected value of the month year. And then the same for Gregorian, although this time in our filter, we're going to reference the Gregorian month year. And again, it's going to be that same selected value. So let's take another look at this in action. So again, we can switch our toggles and we can change our months. And in order for our graphs to show a static 12 months of our first period to our last period, we just edited interactions. So our selection on this particular pane doesn't actually limit the data coming into these two graphs, but it does for our cards. So that's a potential solution if you find the need to report on a non-standard calendar basis. I hope you found this helpful. And thanks for joining me today.